The perfect game.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I...
Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. The perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. Muncy, a walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk-em-off. Chris Taylor.
Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Strike three. Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Mookie Betts cranks it left field.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. I don't care how many times this team rips my heart out, I'll never stop loving the Los Angeles Dodgers. Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. And what's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to an emergency episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. We've got breaking news. The Dodgers have signed free agent outfielder Teoscar Hernandez. Yes, Teoscar Hernandez is a Dodger. This master class of an offseason continues for Andrew Friedman and this Dodgers organization. Should we just get that Dodgers World Series ring for 2024 sized already? Because they just continue to hit. They continue to check every box this offseason. They needed an outfielder. They needed a guy that could produce, a guy that was a lefty masher, and Teoscar Hernandez is just that. We're going to get into the numbers. If you guys know, if you've been watching this show, I've been talking about Teoscar Hernandez now 4 months before everyone was, right? And another one hits, and I'm so excited to talk about it here with you guys. Welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live. I know that we've been on a little bit of a hiatus of late, but we're going to get the show going, rolling in the morning, every single morning, again, starting next week. And you guys, want to thank you for making this the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel in the game. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, definitely do so. The #1 Dodgers show on YouTube, Dodgers Dugout Live, and the #1 channel. But let's get right into Teoscar Hernandez. I want all your reaction too. We'll read some of these comments here. We got Teddy Bartling. Let's go, boys. What up, Teddy? We got Eric. We better win. No excuses now. I love that, Eric, because look, Andrew Friedman, he's done. He gets one more starting pitcher, another reliever. Who cares? Maybe Josh Hader possibly, but he has given this team everything to the point where you got to feel really good heading into the next season. Now, I think that there is some moves that you could still make. You could still improve this roster. You could never have enough starting pitching. I do think you could use a left-handed reliever. Josh Hader would be an ideal fit for this team as far as putting Evan Phillips back in that fireman role, but it's just move after move. And what really sticks out to me first is the contract they're getting him on. Now, first, let's look at this tweet from Jeff Passan. And, of course, it was original. I want to give the original reporter credit who originally broke this story. It was originally reported by Moises Fabian. He was the first to report the deal was closed, but, of course, nothing is official until it comes from the GOAT, Mr. Jeff Passan. And Jeff Passan, of course, he dropped a Passan bomb here on a Sunday night. I'm watching Bills. I'm watching Dolphins. I'm getting ready for the Laker game, and boom! Jeff Passan bomb on a Sunday night. Nothing gets me more excited than my friend, Mr. Jeff Passan, to tweet out breaking. Outfielder Teoscar Hernandez and the Los Angeles Dodgers are in agreement on a 1-year, $23.5 million contract. Sources tell ESPN. Hernandez joined Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow on the new look Dodgers, who add another all-star bat to the lineup. He would go on to tweet, of the $23.5 million in Teoscar Hernandez's deal, with the Dodgers. $8.5 million will be deferred to be paid out from 2030 to 2039. Sources tell ESPN. The corner outfielder market is tough, and Hernandez opted for a big one-year deal with the best team over other multi-year offers. So if you've seen projections for Teoscar Hernandez heading into free agency, Fangraphs had him at over $80 million, something in that range. MLB trade rumors had him at 3 years, $45 million. So to get him on a 1 year, $23.5 million deal where $15 million of that salary is going to be paid out this year and the rest of it is deferred, well, to a team that's entering that highest tier, the Cohen tax tier, you might think, okay, maybe that's not the best idea. But look, I'm here to tell you this team is as all in on winning a World Series title as any team in the history of Major League Baseball. There is no doubting that at this point. The Dodgers have taken all the money out of the 401k. They've absolutely pushed all the chips in the middle of the table, and they still have the prospect capital to go out there and add another starting pitcher and make some moves if they need to address any needs at the deadline or even before the season. So you look at also the fact I want to point out, the Mariners, they did not extend the qualifying offer to Teoscar Hernandez, which this year was $20.325 million. So because of that, they don't have to give up any draft picks for signing him like they had to do for Shohei Ohtani. So that's another plus. And look, the reality here is that Teoscar Hernandez is someone who I think you're getting, and you guys have heard me talk about him for a while now, and I've been on board with this. I've been pounding my fist, hoping they got Teoscar Hernandez, because the reality is, Tommy Pham, to me, didn't trust him on the fact that clubhouse issues at times, older player, didn't fare well after the trade, was below league average with the Diamondbacks after he got traded there from the Mets. You look at Randy Arozarena, from what I was told, that was something that wasn't likely. The prospect capital would have been extremely high, and that the Rays weren't desperate to trade him, so that was a pipe dream. Dodgers don't got time to wait, right? The Dodgers around here trying to solidify this roster and head into the season and give themselves the best chance to win the World Series. They went out there and they got quite possibly the best bat for what they're looking for in this situation. Because look, you look at his numbers last season. He had a down year with the Seattle Mariners, right? He had a 105 weighted runs created plus. For him, that's 5% above league average. That is a down year for Teoscar Hernandez. But you're also talking about someone that also fared a lot better outside of T-Mobile Park in Seattle. And I think that did have something to do with it. In Seattle, with the Mariners at their home ballpark, he slashed .217, .263, .380. Outside of Seattle, he slashed .295, .344, .486. So he was much better on the road than he was at home. And a 105 weighted runs created plus would still have made him have a better year than a David Peralta or a Chris Taylor. But this is someone who, if you look at from 2020 to 2022, last 3 seasons heading into last season, he had a 133 weighted runs created plus. So his bat was 33% above league average for the last 3 seasons heading into last year. That is really who Teoscar Hernandez is. He's a guy who, yes, strikeouts are higher, doesn't walk as much, but he rakes. He's someone that can get you 25 to 35 home runs, can be a 30% above league average offensive player, and that's going to provide a massive boost to the Dodgers. Oh, and on top of that, this is someone who rakes against lefties, and that's exactly what the Dodgers needed. You needed a lefty masher, and he does just that. Last 3 seasons against lefties, slashes .317, .349, .628, 27 bombs, a 164 weighted runs created plus since the start of 2021. So 64% above league average. That's 5th in all of Major League Baseball against lefties for hitters with a minimum of 300 plate appearances. That is exactly what this Dodgers lineup needed, and I could not be more thrilled to add him at that price because, look, this is another perfect example of this Dodgers team staying patient, being opportunistic, not going out there and saying, oh, well, we need Teoscar Hernandez. Here's whatever you want. You want 3 years? You want 4 years? You want $45 million? You want $80 million? Here, fine. No, what they did was they allowed him to go out there, explore his market, have some meetings with the Angels, have some meetings with other teams out there. We heard some of the front runners, and the Dodgers were in the mix. The Boston Red Sox were said to be one of the top 3 front runners, and the Dodgers said, look, this is the team in the Los Angeles Dodgers, where last year, J.D. Martinez came here and signed a 1-year, $10 million deal, and he put himself back on track. He revitalized his career and is in position to sign a nice multi-year deal, and he's north of 35 years of age. So the blueprint is in place. The Dodgers get a lot of credit for the Tyler Andersons of the world, right? And you're putting pitchers back on track, but last year, you did it with J.D. Martinez, and I guarantee you that was a selling point for Teoscar Hernandez. You come to LA, you get back on track, you rake, you win a World Series title, and then you get back on the market and you sign a nice deal the following season because he still is young enough. And then also you add the fact that this is someone who is going to bat 6th, 7th in your lineup possibly, and this is someone who next season at the plate is someone who at the end of the year, we look at his numbers, that he had a better season offensively than everyone on this team outside of Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani. There's a universe next season where Teoscar is a better hitter than Will Smith, Max Muncy, James Outman, Gavin Lux, Chris Taylor, all these guys because of how talented of a hitter he is. So, yeah, no, look, this is a great move by the Dodgers. I can guarantee you Andrew Friedman is thrilled. He was on MLB radio earlier today talking about how this Dodgers team needed a hitter that can mash against lefties. And yes, at $23.5 million, you got the deferrals. You could say if you look at the WAR, you look at some of the numbers, maybe it's a slight overpay, but it's the price of doing business for a player on a 1-year deal. And look, that's not what bothers the Dodgers. It's never the money on a 1-year deal. They just don't want to commit the years to players that they're not all in with moving forward. Yeah, they'll do it to Ohtani. They'll do it with Yamamoto and Freddie and Mookie. But for someone like a Teoscar Hernandez, it makes sense for both sides. It makes sense for him. It makes sense for this organization because this is someone who, look, hopefully he doesn't suffer an injury or gets hurt because that's really one of the only things that could really hurt his case after the season. But if he stays healthy and puts together a Teoscar Hernandez-like season that we saw in Toronto, he is going to sign a nice contract because Teoscar Hernandez is someone who has proven to be one of the most dangerous hitters in the game, and he's 31 years old. He turned 31 in October, so he could still be 32, sign a nice 3-4 year contract, and win a World Series with the Dodgers. So I know I've been going off here, so I want to read your comments. Thank you for joining us here on the #1 Dodgers YouTube show, Dodgers Dugout Live on the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel, Dodgers Nation. I see the 199 Super Chat. Appreciate you. Wait. Do I have my audio's messed up? Oh man, that would be messed up. I hope it's not messed up. Lose the echo. We got an echo situation. I do not know what is going on with that. Here we go. Hello. Oh, here we go. All right, how about this? What up? How's the audio now? Hello. How is the audio? For some reason, it goes on. How's that? D-Mac need to start the Kickstarter campaign. I think my audio is, actually, this is top of the line audio, but audio better. Okay, so let's get to, no, this is actually the best mic that money can buy and the best thing about it. But here we go. It's more of the technology. But let's get back into the mix here and talk about Teoscar Hernandez. So we'll kind of just jump here to, I see 211 strikeouts. Why don't we just start this whole thing over again for Teoscar Hernandez, and I'll give you my whole spiel once again. So yeah, you look at Teoscar Hernandez, the kind of player he is. This is someone who last season he had a down year. Like we said, a 105 weighted runs created plus, that's 5% above league average, 678 plate appearances. Well, from 220 2020 to 2022, he averaged a 133 weighted runs created plus. Had he put together the same season that we saw in the last few years before last season, he would have absolutely signed a $80 to $100 million contract. That's how good Teoscar Hernandez is, but the Dodgers get him on a 1-year, $23.5 million contract. And the Dodgers don't have to forfeit any draft picks because the Mariners did not extend a qualifying offer. And it's a perfect situation. That is the most iconic duo in baseball right now. The Dodgers and deferred contracts. And it's a perfect situation for them because you get a player who is lethal against lefties. If you look at his success against left-handed pitchers, last 3 seasons, he slashed .317, .349, .628, hit 27 home runs, has a 164 weighted runs created plus against lefties since the start of 2021. That is 5th in all of Major League Baseball for hitters with a minimum of 300 plate appearances. So you're talking about someone that has a proven track record of mashing against lefties. This team absolutely needed to add an outfielder that could do that, and they did. They did just that. They have added this offseason. If you look at MLB trade rumors, their top 12 free agents. The Dodgers have signed the number 1 in Shohei Ohtani, the number 2 in Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and the number 12 in Teoscar Hernandez. No team has signed more than 1. And yes, a lot of those guys haven't signed yet, in Blake Snell and Monty and Chapman and Josh Hader and Imanaga, which the Dodgers are out on. But still, it just goes to show how much damage Andrew Friedman has done this offseason. And he's just someone that, if you're going to spend, and the Dodgers have spent a lot, if you look at what this does to their payroll, they're at around $312 million. So now you have crossed that Cohen tax threshold, and you are going to be paying big for this team. And that luxury tax threshold with the Cohen tax is at 297. So you're at 312 million. So you're talking about paying over 90% of a surcharge, but still, this is a franchise that's all in. They want to win the World Series next season. Let's get those rings fitted. So let's talk about the pros and cons of Teoscar Hernandez. Let's read some comments before we get into that. We got that lineup is scary from Ricky. Can they pre-order World Series rings? That's from Dave Zan. That's a comment of the show. Friedman 2024, not fake news. That's from Jake over there. Who gets DFA'd now? Dodgers 2024 World Series champs. That's from BC. Boris, he's irrelevant. So who gets booed off the 40-man roster? I mean, they have obvious DFA candidates if you want to kind of go that route. I mean, the Gus Varlands, the Vanascos, and of course, Brian Hudson was a victim, but still, I wouldn't rule out possibly shipping off some prospects too and making a deal or two. So we'll see what they do, but that's the least of their worries when it comes to acquiring talent. Like I said, Jeff Passan, breaking outfielder Teoscar Hernandez and the Los Angeles Dodgers are in agreement on a 1-year, $23.6 million contract. You see Jeff Passan. When you see it, it's official. Hernandez joins Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and Tyler Glasnow on the new-look Dodgers, who had another all-star bat to the lineup. And like I said, of the $23.5 million in Teoscar Hernandez's deal, Jeff points out with the Dodgers, $8.5 million will be deferred to be paid out from 2030 to 2039. Sources tell ESPN the corner outfielder market is tough, and Hernandez opted for a big 1-year deal with the best team over other multi-year offers. So stop right there and read that last sentence. Other multi-year offers. He 100% had other multi-year offers from the Angels and from the Boston Red Sox, I'm assuming. And that could have been in the 3-year, $45 million territory. And what I expected for Teoscar was that he was going to sign some sort of multi-year deal, but have an opt-out after 1. You saw the deal that Lucas Giolito signed, right, with the Red Sox. Maybe something like that. But instead, this was the advantageous deal for the Dodgers. And they are incredible at remaining patient and waiting for these players to fall into their lap at their price. And I guarantee you that, yes, you could say a tiny bit of an overpay, maybe, but like I said a few minutes ago, it's the price of doing business, and it's not the money per year, it's the years that the Dodgers want to avoid. So on a scale of 1 to 10, How do you guys feel about this trade? Are you all in on Teo, Shuey, D-Mac? That's some risky. I owe you guys some. That's some Ricky Vasquez over there on YouTube. I owe you guys some Shueys. I just don't have any drank up here. But I'll keep it a buck with you guys. I have been sick, so I got you guys on some shoeys, though. Trust me, I got some makeup shoeys. I owe you a Yo Shui Nobu Yamamoto still, so I got you. Trust me. You guys will get those shoeys. We got Mike M. That's from 10. I can see an update on Kike from David. I think this pretty much rolls out a Kike reunion for the most part. Nando 390 says 69. Giggity Dodgers in 3. That's from Mark Flores. Jake Bogner says 8.5. DCam Friedman better start winning lotteries. Where the hell is he going to get billions out of his pockets? They're going to make $1 billion on Shohei Ohtani alone when they invest the money that they're saving with him. Look, this team is not strapped for cash. The money is flowing. Let's not forget, this is the 25th richest franchise in the world. This is the second richest franchise in Major League Baseball. This is a franchise that made almost $600 million in revenue last year and led the league in attendance, that just signed the most marketable superstar in the sport. So money is not going to be the issue. And think of all those additional postseason games. Think of the additional revenue in the Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto jersey sale. So we got a 7 from Zella Zoom. Teo DCam gives it a 10. Class A to boot. That's from I don't know. You want Class A. Mr. Classic says 10. Ricky Orta says 162-0. Los Doyers says haters are saying the Dodgers are not the best team. Well, to those haters, I say, bring it on. Let's settle it on the diamond, because I got my money on this Dodgers team. I think that Shohei Ohtani is going to even take his game to the next level, a level that no one's even seen yet when he gets to October. And we're going to see the WBC Ohtani possibly, where he's got that fire. He's striking out Mike Trout. Of course, that won't be this year. That'll be in 2025. But I think that this Dodgers team is as good as any team in baseball. And I think that with the chip they have on their shoulder after everything that's happened the last 2 seasons with these early exits, I think that I like them that much more because of that. And I also see people out there saying, oh, the Dodgers, they're ruining baseball. This is getting stupid at this point. This is downright disgusting. What are the Dodgers doing? They're ruining baseball. I've got news for you. Your team, your owner, can spend as much money as he wants on any players that he wants to spend it on. Oh, he can also utilize deferrals if he wants to, right? But no, that's not happening because, one, you got too many owners that make too much money and aren't reinvesting it into their teams. And two, this Dodgers team, like I said earlier, JD Martinez last season, he signs that 1-year, $10 million deal with the Dodgers after having a little bit of a down year from the power department with the Red Sox. What does he do with LA? Gets back on track, over 100 RBI, over 30 home runs. He set himself up for a multi-year contract. I guarantee you that was a selling point to Teoscar Hernandez. I guarantee you Teoscar Hernandez believes that he can put up a really nice quality season where he puts up numbers similar to what he did in Toronto, win a ring, and go out there and sign a big payday. And that's what this year is going to be all about. And that's what the Dodgers do. Before this, the Dodgers, everything they've accomplished this offseason has been more than a decade in the making, right? This just doesn't happen overnight because you have a lot of money. If that was the case, these players would be on the New York Mets. That isn't the case. They've taken the time. They've poured the resources into their farm system. They developed that. They've proven that even with a winning club and a system that's designed to have their farm system struggle because you're not picking as high in the draft, you don't have as much international bonus signing pool money, right? It's designed for you to have a farm system that regresses. No, they've proven they can still win and develop talent and scout guys and take them in later rounds and turn them into talent, right? And turn them into assets. And then they can also develop current players and get them back on track, like we saw with Tyler Anderson a few years ago. Got him paid with the Angels. JD Martinez is going to get paid again this offseason as well. So, look, it's a perfect situation. I think you look at this lineup right now. You've got Shohei Ohtani. You've got Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy, James Outman, Teoscar Hernandez, Gavin Lux coming back. Hopefully he hits near 300, right? You've got just so much talent. Jason Hayward. You got
Emmanuel Margot, who I think is going to have a better year. And I feel really good about this line. I think they're absolutely stacked. This was the final piece to the puzzle as far as the lineup goes. And now it's just about potentially adding Josh Hader, a lights-out closer, and another starting pitcher, maybe a veteran type that can eat some innings and allow Yamamoto to transition from the MPB to MLB. And as well as give you some protection and depth for Tyler Glasnow, who's never pitched more than 21 games in a season, 120 innings. So, yeah, D-Mac, are you worried about Teo's below-average defense? His defense actually improved last year. His defense, he posted a 1 defensive run save. Now, sometimes his routes are a little questionable. He's not like a Gold Glove winning outfielder, anything like that. I like this. El Yaki says, my ring size is a 12. Crazy Nico says, 120 to 42, that's your record. We did it, D-Mac, we did it. That's from Ethan J5016. But getting back to your question about his defense, I'm not overly concerned about his defense because I think that he's proven that he can play at the very least average to above average defense. And when you consider that they're not signing him for his defense, but they're also not getting like what JD Martinez would possibly provide if they asked him to go from just dingers to just defense, right? They're not getting that either. They're getting someone who, like I said, a 1 defensive run saved. Yes, some questionable routes at times, but you're getting it for his raw power. I mean, last season he had 26 home runs, had in 678 plate appearances, had a 105 weighted runs created plus, and like I said, look at, for the people who are saying, okay, he had a down year last year. I get it. Sure, he definitely had a down year last year. There's no doubt about that, but just look at those splits, home road splits. At T-Mobile Park, /217, 263, 380. On the road, 295, 344, 486. And I think he's closer to the player that averaged a 133 weighted runs created plus from 2020 to 22 than the 105 weighted runs created plus that he was last season. And you know what? The one thing this Dodgers team they look at when you're signing offensive players is how hard do they hit the ball? How hard they hit the ball. And he smokes the cover out the baseball. I mean, you look at last season, even in a down year for Teoscar Hernandez, he was in the 90th percentile in hard hit rate. Had a 49.4% hard hit rate on his batted balls, and those were at least, he had a 49.4% of those batted balls he last year. They were at least 95 miles per hour in exit velocity. He was also in the 88th percentile in barrel rate at 13.8%. So if you go to his Baseball Savant page, there is a lot of red. There is a lot to like. And that's, to me, what this organization was looking at. They were looking at the fact that if you looked at his peripherals and his batted ball numbers, they told you that they're very similar to what they were when he was with the Toronto Blue Jays, and he was a 130 plus weighted runs created plus player. It just, you're seeing a down year with the Seattle Mariners. I mean, last 3 seasons, if you combine them, averaged 28 bombs and a 121 weighted runs created plus, 31 doubles. So he's going to produce. I have no doubt about it. Look, here's my hot take. I think he's going to win the NLCS MVP. I don't know why. It just came to me, but I feel like this is someone who is going to shine on a big stage. Teoscar Hernandez gets 3 home runs in the NLCS, right? When everyone's focused on Ohtani and Betts and Freeman, like we saw Eddie Rosario a few years ago. Sometimes it's those secondary players, and this is someone who's a Silver Slugger winner and an all-star. So I feel really good about Teoscar Hernandez on the Dodgers, and I just love the fact that you went out there and you signed the most coveted free agent in baseball history. You followed that up by trading for an ace in Tyler Glasnow. You followed that up by signing the #1 free agent pitcher available, and you're still not satisfied. This organization is savage. This offseason, we got bad for baseball. I don't know. Barv signed. Bring back Brett Butler. We got Dave Roberts. You were on the hottest seat known to man. Good luck. That's from Mr. Classic. Yeah, he's got to win. Great pickup for the Dodgers. That's from Justin. Dodgers in 3. Dodgers are not cheap to invest. Love my Dodgers. That's from Frank J. Teoscar is better than Randy. You honestly could make the case that he is. And there's no doubt about that Teoscar Hernandez can rake with the best of them. I don't know if you guys are as familiar with his game, but could give you all the numbers all day long. And he's someone that could hit hard, and he hits the ball hard. He leaves the yard. And how about this? If you want to talk about strikeout rate, look out guys like Kyle Schwarber. Look at guys like Eugenio Suarez. He still had a lower strikeout rate. Dave Xander, thanks for $2. Can we pre-order the World Series rings? Ricky Vasquez, Bellinger, and Soler punching it right now. Let's go. Thank you for $4.99. Appreciate you, my guy. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lower strikeout rate than Chris Taylor, right? And let's not sugarcoat this at all. The left field for the Dodgers last season, from a production standpoint, they were mid. They were below average. They were not good. A combination of David Peralta, who after he was injured after the All-Star break, he never hit another home run. And he wasn't providing any power. Chris Taylor was around league average. But as a whole, the Dodgers, they weren't a good unit in left field. They were below average. If you look at how many home runs they hit collectively, they hit 18 bombs. That was good for 20th in all of Major League Baseball. They had a 96 weighted runs created plus. That was 4% below league average. So even Teoscar Hernandez in his down year last season, a 105 weighted runs created plus, that would still be better than what the Dodgers did last season. Last season, Dodgers in the left field, they hit 250 as a group. That just wasn't going to cut it. I mean, you look at the OPS, a 722 OPS. That was 21st in all of Major League Baseball. So clearly the Dodgers had to improve at that position, and they not only did it with a player that defensively can get it done and a player that can hit against lefties, he's also someone who fares well against righties as well. This is an all-star player that they're signing. Most franchises in this sport right now, if they signed one all-star in Teoscar Hernandez, they're feeling pretty good about themselves, and they're feeling pretty good about their offseason. But the Dodgers, they're on a whole nother level. What they're doing, I mean, they're playing fantasy baseball with like 2 players in that league. That's how hard they're going this offseason. Bring back Eric Gagne. Is this official? James, it is officially official because Jeff Passan tweeted. That's how you know it's official. I heard Dylan Cease is available. Troy, yeah, we talked about that a few days ago. The Dodgers are rumored to still be interested in him. We got Shane. Can't be mad at the Dodgers for conducting business when any other team owners could be doing the exact same thing and just chose not to. Fantastic point, Shane. I was saying similar things earlier, and I agree, and I echo those same sentiments. Your team, they can go out there and spend, but either one, they're not doing it, or two, players don't want to sign with your team. So that's your problem, not ours. You guys can just cry more and punch air, whatever it takes. Does D-Mag look at the comments? Absolutely, but there are a lot of comments. Dusty Baker is free. Bring him in as a manager. Artie, Braves get Sales, so Dodgers respond to get a right-handed hitting slugger. That's a fantastic point. Artie Pineda over there on YouTube, who bashes lefties. Freeman is playing chess while the rest of the league plays checkers. What I always say about Andrew Friedman is he only speaks when it's time to yell checkmate, and we're seeing another example of that. More comments, guys. Be able to, drop those comments again. I'm going to go crazy on those comments. 200 Ks is too much and rock. So he does strike out a lot. There's no doubt about that. The strikeout numbers for Teoscar Hernandez are something that, sure, if you're going to point at the issue, but that comes with the territory. The reason why he rakes is because he's aggressive at the plate, right? The reason why he rakes is because he's willing to go out there and swing at pitches. And last year, you saw the strikeout rate go up to 31.1%. But we saw in 2021, 24.9%. I think the Dodgers can improve that. Also, too, something you need to factor in as well, the Dodgers have enough talent around him where they can absorb some of that. They can allow him to be him and go out there and say, hey, just do you. If you got to strike out 31.1% of the time, but you'll get us 30 home runs and you'll match against lefties, then fine. But this is a lineup that can sustain that. This is a lineup that can withstand that. They can still have a lot of success with him having a high strikeout rate. And look, like I said, the game of baseball is changing. If you're going to focus on the strikeout rate, focus on weighted runs created plus, OPS plus, overall offensive production, right? So the reality is that for his career, it's 2020, a 142 weighted runs created plus. 2021, a 132 weighted runs created plus, and that's when he had a 24.9 strikeout rate. 2022 with the Toronto Blue Jays, a 130 weighted runs created plus, and struck out 28.4% of the time. So as long as he's raking and getting extra base hits, you'll live with the strikeouts, especially in a lineup that already has a lot of talent that doesn't need him to be anything more than what he already is, and that's a player that can slug. If you want the dub, you got to slug, and sometimes to slug, you got to go down swinging. Just how it goes down today. We got Mike Saldana, D-Mac, give us your projected lineup. I'm actually going to give you that tomorrow on the morning show, so be on the lookout for that little tease there. Bush and or Vargas has to get traded for pitching, right? I would suspect that most likely. I mean, for the simple reason that where do you put, with Dave Roberts going out there and saying that Michael Bush is your everyday second baseman, right? Where do you place Mookie Betts is your everyday second baseman? Where do you place Michael Bush to try to improve his trade value? Teams already know that he is someone who can rake at the minor league level. They don't need to see it at this point. If you want to increase his trade value, you have to see him get opportunities at the big league level. So sooner the better, and I think that he deserves an opportunity. We got 9-inch pitcher. Sorry, guys, coming off a cold. Thank you for the 199, though. Brandon Chang, hoping he becomes our Aroldis Adolis Garcia. I love that comp right there, Brandon. And that's what I'm talking about, man. A player that is nasty. He has a reputation of being a fun, friendly clubhouse guy who's great for the clubhouse and dugout. So look for him for that. So you got to love that as well. I'm watching Teoscar Hernandez 2023 highlights. Andrew Friedman equals Thanos. That's for Mr. Classic. Yeah, and I see people out there, oh, but Thanos lost. Yeah, but Thanos only lost because the Avengers went back in time and they got the Infinity Stones before him. He didn't have to lose. I don't want to get into the weeds on that, but I agree with you. He's collecting those Infinity Stones. You know what? Freedom is the watcher. Lance Lynn just gave up a home run. Finish him. That is from Fire Take 2. I'll give you a finish him. Finish him. Bring back Darryl Strawberry. Taking no prisoners. Ulysses, good pick. He's a good player. Bad for the rest of the NL West. Brian Davis, I remember Adrian Beltre struggled in power when he played in Seattle. Fast forward, Adrian Beltre will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's a fire take. Brian Davis, my favorite players, 39 dingers in 2004. Love Adrian Beltre. Talked to him a few years ago at the All-Star game, and he still has a lot of affinity for this organization. You really got to respect that. Bring back Tim Walk. And we got to thank you, D-Mac, for the quality Dodgers content on a consistent basis. You rock. I appreciate you, Dirk, and everyone out there. By the way, we got an Ohtani jersey giveaway that we're giving away when we get to 80,000 subs. We got $4.99 from Ed Rivera. We got Julissa Rivera in El Paso, Texas, wants to make a Dodgers D-Mac #1 jersey. That'd be pretty fire. That'd be pretty fire. Definitely would love that to see. That'd be pretty cool. Patrick Lord, D-Mac breaks Dodgers stories months before the deals even get done. Passing, schmassing. Look, I mean, if you watch this show, there's a lot of nuggets. That's all I got to say. We got a 10. We got Big Fish, strikeout machine. Outman is the everyday center fielder. My Cubbies ain't done jack. That's from Shane. Let's get some more comments here. I'm going to go all comments the rest of the show. Thanks, guys, for rocking with us. Breaking news, Dodgers have signed Teoscar Hernandez, $23.5 million. We got $8.5 million that is deferred. So it's a great deal for this Dodgers team who absolutely needed Teoscar, in my opinion. You got that lefty masher. You got that right-handed hitting outfielder that can be your everyday outfielder. You can let Chris Taylor and be that utility guy. It's a perfect situation. Any potheads will be DFA to make room. That's not happening. Swelling Sausage, super chat. Let's get the lefty from Miami. That'd be great. Luzardo, Jesus Luzardo would be down with that. Trade for Shane Bieber and Emmanuel Clase. Now, Michael, yeah, you know, guys, I don't know about you, but I was starting to get a little antsy here. I mean, Andrew Friedman, what have you been up to? Glad you finally woke up. It had been like, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days before an impact trade for a Cy Young pitcher or an all-star. It's been a while since you had signed a big-time free agent. I mean, it's good to see Andrew Friedman finally waking up. That's all I'm saying. That fantasy baseball analogy is fired. D-Mac, finish him. Finish him. Finish him. Got you, Joe Dev. We got pump the money back into baseball and not the owner's pockets. Amen, Luis Gonzalez over on YouTube. That is a fire take to Dodgers Nation comment of the game. We got Phillies and Braves might strike lightning if they face the Dodgers in the playoffs, but there's no AL team that can beat the Dodgers. Crypto Bill, I agree. And look, the reality is baseball is going to baseball, right? There's no guaranteeing championships in this sport. Dave Roberts makes a great bench coach. That's from Just Saying. This guy is not that good. Teoscar, 1-year deal. Is Soto incoming? Interesting take, Sweaty Raider. That'd be pretty wild. But I think that he's going to absolutely get a massive deal. Who's next? D-Mac. That's from Drewski. Look, I mean, we saw, first of all, Jorge Castillo, he mentioned Teoscar Hernandez as an option for the Dodgers. Jorge Castillo of the LA Times at the beginning of free agency. And anytime you see the Dodgers just continuously linked with these players, and I see people, oh, it's just clickbait, these rumors come true, right? These rumors become reality. This rumor became a reality tonight. Teoscar Hernandez announced as a frontrunner the Dodgers a couple days ago. He's a Dodger now. Ohtani, Yamamoto, Glass now. Go back to Freddie Freeman, Trevor Bauer. I mean, how many examples do we need to see? And who's the one name that we've seen with Hader? Dodgers hater, Dodgers hater, Dodgers hater. We could see a similar situation if he doesn't get the kind of contract offer that he wants. I still think the Phillies and the Rangers and the Yankees are all teams that do make sense for Josh Hader. I could see them getting into that $100 million range potentially, but maybe they go that route. But I also think the Dodgers could go towards a Emmanuel Clase in a trade. Maybe a Shane Bieber. I would absolutely greenlight that as well. And I think at this point, you count the innings, you can never have enough starting pitching. It's the oldest cliche in baseball, but it's the God-honest truth. And when you have a starting rotation that, as talented as they are, there's a lot of questions. Walker Buehler might not be ready to start the season on a pitch count. Glass now. He's only made 21 starts in this season, right? Yoshinobu Yamamoto transitioning from the NPB to Major League Baseball. It's very different. Mound is different. The ball is different. The schedule is different. The hitters are different. The lifestyle outside of the games is different, right? So I definitely think you could use another veteran starter. And after Sean Manaea signed with the Mets and you got Imanaga, the Dodgers aren't in the mix for him. I think that you find that on the trade market, and I think that's most likely what they do next is they find a way to trade for another starting pitcher. Record prediction, too early for that. I had the Dodgers at 97 wins last year, though. I think it was one of the first only people to have the Dodgers winning the division, felt like. 1 year, $23 million. Vargas going to win a job. I feel it. Thanks, Mike. Let's keep reading these comments. But let's keep 1 year contracts for Hernandez and Hayward. There will be some on-field spots open in 2025. Absolutely. 6-man rotation. I agree with that, especially when you consider the fact that you're going to have to go to that when Ohtani takes the mound in 2025. A super chat from Jeremy Bird, $4.99. Are the ghosts in the cornfield still available? Sign them all. That's a fire take. You know what? Just have people from The Conjuring come up and just bring all the greats from the past and just have them join the Dodgers, right? Dave Roberts said he's still going to start Trace Thompson. Okay, it's a fire take. Hi, D-Mac. What up, Edgar? D-Mac, we ready for mom's spaghetti? Edgar, we are, man. We're about to lose ourselves, right? About to lose ourselves next season. Let's go. Let's go, B-Rap. We got, hey, D-Mac. What up, Nate? Dodgers are looking into a new era, Ohtani era. Do not bring back past Dodgers players. I, for the most part, would tend to agree with that. And I think that's one reason why a few days ago I said it was a hard pass. Randy Jackson, that's a no for me, dog, on Kenley Jansen, and it does feel like, yes, you do have Mookie and Freddie and some of these players from years past, but still, I do feel like this is the Ohtani era, and this is a team that needed a complete injection of new voices, new talents, players that are hungry, players that are on one-year deals that want to have great years, players that want to win World Series titles, players that want to prove themselves. And I think that you have a great mix of that. I think that Freddie Freeman wants to win a World Series outside of Atlanta. I think that Mookie Betts has said at his signing when he signed for $365 million that he wanted to win multiple World Series titles. So I think that across the board, top to bottom, this team is extremely hungry. James Outman still wants to prove that he's a everyday big leaguer that's going nowhere. Gavin Lux wants to prove that as well. Chris Taylor wants to prove that he's still got it. I mean, there's a lot of players up and down this lineup that just have a lot of edge to them, and you love to see. I think they're in a great place. Walker Buehler wants to get a big contract. Bobby Miller wants to be an all-star. I just love where this team's at. We got Jose Munoz, D-Mac. I wonder what the Padres, that's what's in, rapping crew is doing right now. I don't know, but I just know that the Dodgers are going down to the yellow and brown. That's what's in. Dun, 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 dun. I can tell you that much for sure. Cobra Commander on YouTube, need a hitman in that closer position. I agree with you. I'm leaning towards that as well. I mean, typically, I'm someone who wants to play the matchups, but I think that if you did sign Hader, I think that Hader would hopefully feel like he got the type of money he wanted. And then at that point, you're saying to yourself, I think you'd be more open to going out there in innings that don't involve a save, because that's how you get big bags when you're on the free agent market. It's how you go out and chase a Hall of Fame resume, is through recording saves. But I don't think that would be top of mind for Hader after he signs. Maybe if he signs on a short-term deal, but not long-term. But here we go. Robert's going to pull Yamamoto in the 8th with a no-hitter. Fam, that's a fire takeover on YouTube. Let's give you the real. I get the feeling next is Burns and Adames from Mr. Classic. Interesting. I could see next offseason we trade for Randy Rosarena. Randy, hey, D-Mac, option year. Let's get Randy, baby. Extend Barnes, 10 years, $200 million. Out of pocket with that. Trade for Bieber, a $4.99 super chat. Never doubt the Dodgers dugout. Absolutely, Age over on YouTube. Appreciate you. Raldis Chapman instead of Hader. That is from Javier Mora. We got Esk. Dodgers stacked, almost unfair. Hey, D-Mac, how you doing? I'm doing fantastic. I'm getting over a little bit of a flu cold situation, but I'm automatically healed. This is like having the best chicken soup ever. Anytime the Dodgers make a trade or sign a player, just inject it into my veins. It gives me life. We got Junior, give us your dream lineup, D-Mac. I'm going to give that tomorrow on the morning show. Alex Escobar, Hader isn't big. Okay, we got trade for Luzardo or Snell. We got some more. We got depth trade for Jesus. Yeah, I dropped a video a little earlier today that was a cut from a show I did a few weeks ago on that. So absolutely would be in on that. He's someone that I would consider trading a lot of top prospects for, because he's under 3 years of team control, and I think that he's a beast. Taylor Swift, stay away from the Dodgers. That's from N Rocks. We need Billy McKinney. Okay, good times here. Next year, Roki and Spencer Strider. I'm here for that. Dodgers running out of money. George Diaz. The Rams won and locked in the 6th seed. And now this. What a good day. That's from Ben Sanchez. I can't wait for this season to start. That's from Kuhaku over on YouTube. They should have resigned Kike instead. No way. I mean, this is a player that's on a whole nother stratosphere than Kike Hernandez. You can't compare the two. Come on now. I love Kike. Kike is solid. He's around league average. He's versatile, but he's not someone who's going to give you 25 to 30 plus home runs, a 130 weighted runs created plus, and he's too hot and cold. I mean, they're just not the same kind of player. Teoscar is an all-star. He's a silver slugger. He's someone that has absolutely won. We got keep drinking them salty tears, D-Mac. Absolutely, man. Let me take all these salty tears. Who are these from? These are probably from, let's do the Angels, Giants, salty tears, Giants. Okay, that was so cute. Wasn't that a cute little Robbie Ray trade by the Giants, by the way? Austin Brubaker, my guy, sign Hader long-term or trade for Luzardo and Scott Nard. Oh, man, Tanner Scott, love him, man. I was trying to find out if the Dodgers could get him last offseason, but absolutely. And I think if you look at Josh Hader, he's someone where, yeah, you're not going to see the strikeout rate in the 47% range like we saw with the Brewers, or him be a guy that is going to be a multi-inning reliever. He's someone that likes to lock down the 9th inning, We've seen that from him, and he's done that at an elite level for the past few seasons. Yes, last year had ERA over 5. That was an aberration. He was strong down the stretch. If you look at Edwin Diaz in 2019, he had an ERA over 5 too, still was able to turn his career around and sign that deal over $100 million. I think Josh Hader is someone who, you need a lefty, he's a power lefty. And it just would absolutely be the biggest piece in that bullpen, and you allow Evan Phillips to be optimized in the situation where he's best utilized. And that's where I want to see Evan Phillips, because last year, some of the expected numbers, still great down the stretch. He really was phenomenal, but you have to take advantage of his ability to be used in the 7th and the 8th and be a little more dynamic with the way you deploy him. And I just don't want to see him pigeonholed there into that 9th inning because they have to out of necessity. And if you go get Josh Hader, he's your closer. I mean, he's recorded over 91% of his saves last 3 seasons. He would get the job done, and he brings that high velocity, right? And he can go out there and dominate hitters, and that's what you see play up in the postseason. So I would absolutely be doing cartwheels down 1,000 Vin Scully Avenue if they were able to, after all of this, somehow get the top reliever available. At this point, I mean, we just shouldn't doubt this team. I mean, we're living in this monopoly money fantasy land with the Dodgers. It ain't our money, right? So might as well continue to enjoy it and really be lucky to be a Dodgers fan right now, because we're living in this golden age of Dodger baseball. But John Garcia says, don't like strikes out too much. We need players that make consistent contact. Lineup protection doesn't help when 2 outs and runners in scoring position. But here's the thing. Here is the thing. Dodgers 2080. What up, my guy, Mr. Tim Rogers? Go subscribe to his channel. What an offseason captain, obvious. Yeah, offseason for the ages. We got a 999 from Justin Sutterfield. Devin Williams, Burns, and Adames for Lux, Bush, Cartaya, Stone, and a 1-2 top pitching prospect. Does that get it done? I mean, Devin Williams there, Burns. I mean, Burns and Adames are the interesting ones because they only have 1 more year of team control left there. And this is a team, you have to remember that the Central, it's an extremely winnable division. And this Brewers team, say what you want about them, they always find a way to compete. And Devin Williams under 2 more years of team control before he hits free agency. So, I mean, that would be fantastic, but a right-handed pitcher, do you really want to part ways with top prospects for a reliever of any kind? I'm not so sure you really want to do that, especially when you could probably get Clase at a more of a reasonable rate. But I mean, it's an interesting idea, and anytime you guys throw out trades, I think it's freaking amazing because I love reading them. Now, as far as Lux, it depends. I mean, look, maybe if the Brewers valued Lux as someone who they view as a long-term solution at shortstop, someone who is the hometown kid, there's only been, I think, like 10 Wisconsin-born players that have ever even played for the Brewers. I interviewed JP Fireisen a couple of days ago. I was doing some research and found that out. So there's a world where maybe they see him as the prodigal son and you view him highly, but then you also got Cartaya in there. Stock is on the lower side. Would you want to sell him low? Same with Gavin Stone. Would you want to sell him low? Those don't seem like things the Dodgers would want to do, right? And Burns, that's a 1-year rental. Adames, that's a 1-year rental. If you were looking to possibly get an extension done with Adames, that would be the kicker for me. And it would be a way to say, not necessarily that package in particular, but to really escalate talks on that. But I love the suggestion, Justin. Thanks so much for the super chat as well. I really appreciate you rocking with us. We need to keep Lux. I agree. I mean, you guys got to factor this as well. That James Outman, for example, Gavin Lux, for example, when you are starting to get top heavy with contracts and even with the deferrals, you need to hit on as many of these homegrown guys as you possibly can, because look, at some point you need some continuity, you need some youth, and you need some guys that are under team control. And yes, look, flags, World Series rings, those diamonds, they shine forever, baby. Whatever it takes to win a World Series, I'm all for, right? But you also do want to factor in a little bit of those sustainable chips if you think that, one, they can help you win a couple years from now and next year. And I can tell you that within the organization, talking to some of the players, talking to some of the people within this organization, that this team and this organization is still very high on Gavin Lux. And internally, the belief level in him is high. They think that he's capable of hitting around 300 for an entire season. And Gavin Lux, if you've seen him, swole, added some muscle. He thinks he can hit double-digit home runs. So if you're talking about someone who can be average defensively, hit near 300, hit double-digit home runs, that's worth seeing what you have in him. So it's another example of, do you want to trade him too soon? I'm not so sure you do, especially when the only player in that deal that's under multiple years of team control is a reliever. Okay, guys. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning, and we're going to continue to break this down. This is an emergency episode. I don't even know what we're at right now. 53 minutes? Okay. Dodgers signed Teoscar Hernandez. We'll continue to break this down tomorrow. We'll take a look at how that Dodgers lineup will look. Let's get some more comments here before we head out. Bottom of the ninth, guys, 2 outs. Give me some walk-off shots right here. Hater from Swelling Sausage. If we get Adames back, also from Justin Sutterfield. BC, World Series or bust for a decade. The NL West is like, yep, they are biting their nails. That is from Under His Wings. Alvaro, I don't like Teoscar Hernandez. Fans are fixated on home runs, but with that comes too many Ks. We need high average hitters. We'll break that down tomorrow, but I'm telling you, let Teoscar be Teoscar. They have enough guys that do that. How did that work for the Dodgers last year, right? They have a lot of guys, they preach that approach. Don't expand the zone, this and that. Sometimes you need guys that go out there and just unconscious, boom, hit the baseball. Teoscar can rake. He can do just that. Yankees one hater. Hey, man, are those still the Yankees? I think the Dodgers, they're what the Yankees used to be. Have to give Lux a chance in 2024. I agree with you on that one, Mike M. Especially, too, when you have Miguel Rojas as a viable backup. A nice little Band-Aid break in case of emergency there. If he can't get it done defensively, we know that Miguel absolutely still can. Almonte gives me Pedro Baez vibes. A couple more here. Lux finishes above 290 and 24. That's Sackzilla 06's hot take. What about his defense? Time to DFA Frank McCourt. Okay. That is, what up, Diane Shooter? Gavin Lux, give him a chance. I agree. $5 from Samuel, Dodger Stadium. TP equals $5 a square. That is such a fire take, Samuel. I love that. Great point, D-Mac. We got, do the Dodgers hit 300 home runs? Hey, man, I just want this team to finish with the most runs scored. How about that? If it comes via home run, that's fine as well. But Dodgers win the NL West by the All-Star break. IB stroking, I could see that. Let's keep just Belmont Stakes. These guys go full secretary of the Belmont Stakes. Pull away. We got the Dodgers hit 325 home runs. That's your hot take. Who's that from? I want to give you full credit here. Here's the thing. John Garcia, here's the thing, but didn't finish. Why it's okay. He K's too much and will. John Garcia, I did actually. Look, I mean, this is a guy who you have multiple players in this lineup that can continue to hit for contact. Freddie Freeman, Ohtani, they're going to hit over 300. Mookie Betts, you got Will Smith that can hit for contact as well if you need him to. Gavin Lux, I mean, this is someone who is a proven asset against left-handed pitchers, right? That's what this team needed. And you look at weighted runs created plus, you look at OPS plus, overall offensive production, he has been above average despite the strikeouts. Strikeouts come with the territory of the game in Major League Baseball this day and age. When it comes to hitting with runners in scoring position, he's someone that's proven to be able to do that throughout his career. And like I said, if you out-homer your opponent in the postseason last decade, you win at an 80% plus clip. You win over 80% of the games in the postseason where you out-homer your opponent, right? If you want the dub, you got to slug. He can slug. And like I said, when you have a lineup that's as deep as the Dodgers, they can live with his strikeouts. I mean, did the Phillies have a problem with Kyle Schwarber, right? I mean, you look at some players that have a higher strikeout rates. Sometimes that comes with the territory for what they do. But we'll dive more into that tomorrow, though, because I love the debate. I appreciate it. I love that you have a different opinion of mine. Trust me, I live for that. It keeps me going. I love it, and that's what this show's all about. I'm not someone who doesn't have the comments on the screen. The comments are always on the screen, and also I'm always responding to the comments I disagree with. That's so it makes it different. But thanks again, guys. We got, what about defense? We got D-Mac got those pass notifications on. Absolutely love Lasorda, loving this in Blue Heaven. That is from Jaime Rodriguez. So we're going to end on that one, but that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, an emergency breaking news episode. The Dodgers have signed Teoscar Hernandez to a 1-year, $23.5 million deal. More on that tomorrow on Dodgers Dugout Live in the morning at 10 o'clock, so be sure to tune in for that. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on the X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.